Hello, everybody. Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another hour of learning here with Michaels and Faber-Castell USA. My name is Leibella Ralston. I'm also known as Mommy Lay on the internet. It's always a pleasure to be here and hang out with you guys and do something fun and creative. So today, like what Tina is sharing with us, so I'd like to quickly want to say hello to everybody watching. So hi, Marisha from North Carolina. Are you all doing good? I hope that your family is safe. So thank you for joining in. We have some friends from Southern California. Hello there. I'm Provo. Hello, Provo. Hello. Hi, Tina. Yes, it does feel like fall today. Oh my goodness. It feels so beautiful outside. I actually cleaned out the our garage. So it's like I was just doing a little bit of cleaning because it feels so nice here in Texas, guys, but it's going to get a little bit warm again tomorrow. So our weather is kind of like that. So, hey, Georgiana. Hello, Belle. Hello. Hi, Cher. Hello there. Hi, Angie. Thanks so much for joining in. Hi, Buffy. Hey, Lorena. How are you? Hey, Barbara from Denton, Texas. Thank you all so much for joining in. I love Wednesday. I was a little bit rambling just a couple of minutes before we got started. But Nicole was just so kind to, just kind of like let me compose myself. The mic wasn't working and the camera wasn't working. It's live, guys. What do we do? So if you're watching this on YouTube, you are missing a whole lot. So make sure to check out Michael's classes and events so you can join us next time so we can have, chat and enjoy, right? Because this is the best one. Okay, so let me see. I am not seeing your screen. So make sure that we're just going to do a little bit of check here. You can see me. You can see my screen. Everything's good. Is everything okay? All right, so I want to make sure I am in speaker view so that we can see my screen in here. All right, so here we go. Today we are going to do something spooky. It is October, and so we're going to do a lot of fun Halloween themed for the month of November, and today is just the beginning. So we're going to do a little bit of illustration. It's almost like lettering and drawing at the same time. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense because that's what it feels like, because we're going to do a little bit of lettering and then we're going to do a little bit of doodles also to kind of like make this drawing a bit more fun. Does that make sense? Oh my goodness, what is happening? Everything is like not working for us. Okay, so I think it's working now. Something was going on. Okay, I think we're good. So for today's type of illustration, I am actually going to be using, we don't use this a lot. I don't know why we don't use this very much, but I will be using Faber-Castell's alcohol-based markers. Now, the reason why probably we don't use this so much because is that when it's a alcohol-based markers, you really need like a different a paper because it's going to bleed through. So when you use this, what you need to do is have in mind that you won't be able to use the back of your paper, right? So we're going to need an illustration pad. This one is from Michaels. This is the Artist Loft, the Artist Level 2 edition, because it's just slightly better than the one. And it isn't so expensive as well, right? And then for the colors that we're going to be using, now it depends on, like what I always say, you don't have to have the exact markers that I'm using if you're using from another brand, or maybe you're not using an alcohol marker. The only difference is that it's just going to be probably look different. The results are going to be different than mine, and also depends on the paper that you're using, all that jazz. Now, Faber-Castell, these are new markers. This is the Goldfaber Sketch. Now, when you see a marker that says Goldfaber Aqua, that is the one that the water soluble that you can use like a watercolor, right? But they look so similar, and I agree. Sometimes I get so confused too. I actually pulled out some set earlier, and I'm like, oh, this is the wrong marker. I'm like, oh, wrong one. So, but this is the sketch. So every time you see sketch, and it's going to say here anyways, alcohol-based inks. Let me just pull here. And then these are the aqua, right? So it's not going to say alcohol base. This one will say alcohol base, but the aqua is the water soluble. So they are both dual tips. So you get a brush and then a fine tip on the other end. So the brush tip is a really good size. I can say it's like from a medium to a large brush. And then the tip, the fine tip is a 0.6. So I love it because you can really use it. Like if you love adult coloring, I think it's been going, I think it's starting to trend again. It had a moment and then it kind of like everybody, I don't know, just everybody stopped doing it. And then now I see it all over social media again. Everybody's doing coloring. So I think if you have like very small area that you're going to color, I think you're going to appreciate the 0.6 fine tip of the Goldfaber sketch. So you have the brush, this here, and then you have the 0.6. Now, when do you use a sketch marker like this, and when do you use a water base? Now, it depends. Of course, when you're using a water base, this is when you're going to be probably blending with water. Now, with the sketch markers, the way alcohol markers work is that it gets absorbed in the paper. So it gets absorbed and it stays wet for a little bit. Now it's going to depend on the paper that you're using. If you're probably using just a copy paper, you might not get the same result. But if you are using the right marker pad like this, you're really going to see the difference of the blend, the way it blends on the paper. Like other marker, because with other markers you're going to see that mark, so that marker when you lay it down, and we're just going to do some swatches so we can see the difference. So I'm going to lay it down. With other markers, even the Pitt Artist pens that we have, you're actually going to see parts of that. I call it a lay down, where you lay down that marker. But the way the alcohol markers, it gets absorbed and it almost feels like that comic look. So if you look at that practice sample illustration that I created, it's so blended. You're not going to see any marker pads. See this one, you can really see that lay down of the marker, right? So we're going to do just like a pink. This is the alcohol marker. I'm going to grab the Pitt Artist pen. So you can see how really smooth and blended. You're not going to see all of those marker, the marks and the marker marks. It kind of feels weird, kind of like Marky Mark the singer, which is Mark Wahlberg. So that's why I love using alcohol markers. It just depends on the type of illustration that I am working on. Now, if I am going to be creating some doodles in my journal, I will never reach for these markers just because they bleed, right? And when I say they bleed through, they will show through on the back of your paper like this. And this is already a thick paper. So this one is 100 pound. So it is in grams, that would be a 270 GMS. So that's really heavy paper, but it's still bled through on the backside of this. So can you imagine if you're using this in your journal, it's going to bleed through. So just, I think it's important that we talk about that, just in case you love the result that you see here today and you're like, I'm going to use that in my bullet journal. I do not recommend this for bullet journaling. All right. Okay. So again, I'm using a marker pad. I need my pencil. No matter what pencil you're using, I'm going to use this is the Grip Plus, the 07. I love it because it's slightly thicker. I have a carpal tunnel syndrome now, so I'm really trying to be bit more careful with, the amount of time I spend working with a thin marker like this. So sometimes I kind of I have a grip that you put in, like an artist grip for, just be careful. So you don't want to get a carpal tunnel. So for the colors that we're going to use, the set that I actually have in here is called the graphic novel set. It's almost like comic looking. So this is the set. And it has a perfect Halloween colors too. So we have light yellow glaze. So if you want to use something similar in here, where's the other paper? Let's just use the other paper. So if you don't have this set and you want to know what colors you want to grab, but as usual, you guys know that, sometimes we don't really use a whole lot of these colors. But I figured all these colors look so great together for Halloween. Maybe not the dull beige red. Do you guys need the numbers as well? So this one is 104. The other, dull lime. I love the names. This one is dull beige red 3A2. I love the alcohol markers because Faber-Castell was able to create new colors for this line, given that it is an alcohol base. So they were they were able to play around with more colors, and they added more colors in this line. This one is my ultimate favorite. This is like in every single product. I believe the Pit Artist has this, the Goldfaber Aqua, they do have the middle purple pink. I just love this pink so much. I think it's the best pink out there. Right, this one, look at this bright orange. This is so fun. This is the dark cadmium orange. This is 115. So if you're using the Pit Artist pens, it's okay. You know, if you're using the Goldfaber Aqua, whatever you have in there, that's going to work. But I just want to share the color scheme or the color palette that we are going to be working with today. So this one is the 136. All right. Isn't that perfect? Look at that palette. It was just so perfect. I was even looking at my big set. I have this Goldfaber sketch, the 24. But then when I saw the set, I'm like, this is perfect. This is all we need. So, all right. Okay, let me pull out our chat. So make sure that I don't miss any of your questions or anything like that. Um, I think we're all good. So hello, Lorena, Central California. Hey, Buffy. Hey, Mary. Hello. Hi, Christine. So hello, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, pencil is our best friend because I make a whole lot of mistakes. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we are our lettering, which is spooky vibes, is going to fit in our pumpkin. So what we want to do first, our first step is to sketch out the size of our pumpkin. So it just depends on the size that you're using. I'm using a 9x12. So I'm not gonna make this any perfect. We make it just a little bit narrow on the top and a bit wider at the bottom for it to look like a pumpkin. This is how I create my character's face. Also, this shape. I like this shape. So slightly heavy at the bottom. Kind of like me. All right. This is my problem. I try to make my sketching not so nice, and then at the end, it bothers me so much that it's not perfect. I don't know. Are you the same way? Or are you like, when you know it's just sketch, you just kind of like let it be? I don't know why. It bothers me when it's like not perfect, because we're all so different. Sometimes we're like, no, I just kind of like let it be like this and I don't care. Hey, Robin. Hello, hello. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone, Belle. And then we're gonna do the pumpkin, the top. Now, how I like to do what do you call this? I can't think of, is it turning blurry? I think when my hands go away from the screen, it's just trying to find a place to put focus on. Now I want to make it like narrow in here, like smaller. So I'm going to do a smaller horizontal line in there. I want to make sure that our focus is on the middle. There we go. All right. Okay. It's trying to put focus. And then it goes wide. And then we're just going to put it over there. Why is it? Oh. Oh, hold on, guys. I did something. That's why. Okay. Now it should work. It's almost like leaning to the left. Mine is. So just kind of like play around with yours. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but I'm just going to make it like that. I'm going to clean out my sketch because I'm like this. All right. So we have the base. We know how much space we have for our spooky lettering. Now, the type of lettering that we're going to do today, it's almost like a fun script lettering. I think we did this style before. It's almost like a faux lettering as well, but it's one of my favorite because it's so boxy. It looks boxy, and that's my goal for this one. So if you can write it just regular print if you want. Now I'm going to write it in script. So we have spooky. Now, the only thing to think about and be mindful of is the spacing, because what we're going to do is we're going to add extra width to our each letters. So you just want to be mindful for the amount of spacing that you will have between each of the letter. So I'll just have letter S. I'm going to go around. I want to make sure I have enough space, because again, we're going to add some width to that. P, just like this. And then we're going to add our connecting line. We're going to stretch it a little bit. And that's why it's nice to use a pencil first, because we can always adjust. Because I can already see that I'm not going to have enough space for the rest of my letters. Look at me. Why do I write so big all the time? Spooky. Do my K. Definitely going to need to adjust this one. Or I can adjust my pumpkin. But I don't have enough space in there. All right, guys, you do yours. I'm going to adjust mine. So just be mindful of your spacing. I'll move my S in here just a little bit. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. I want to know in the comments what is your favorite Halloween movie, like your number one go-to? I love Halloween. I love scary movies. I'm just gonna adjust my pumpkin also while I'm at it anyways. Since I'm making mistakes left and right. So I'm just gonna adjust it just a little bit. I love, man, I don't know what, because we've been binging a lot of scary movies already lately, my daughter and I. So because we love it. I just don't like it when there's like too much violence and so gory. I don't like that. I like ghost stories, I suppose. Yes, practical magic. Yes, I do love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm more into that magic also. So I don't like too gory stuff. Ugh, I've never been into that. But my mom did. And then she would get upset when I'm like, "Ugh, it's just a movie." So my mom is Filipino. We're Filipino. So she's like, she definitely has a lot of personality growing up. I remember that. Hocus Pocus, of course. We all love Hocus Pocus. I actually did a lettering with look, just another glorious morning. I love it, Winnie Fred. So which of the three sisters is your favorite? If you can pick one, because it's almost impossible that you have to pick one. I love the three of them, but if I can pick one, I think it's Mary. It has to be Mary. Mary is my it's not an animal, so what do you call it? If I'm a witch, I would be Mary. I would be funny like that. Trick or Treat. I haven't watched that yet. Nightmare Before Christmas, of course. Tim Burton is really good. Coraline is a good one. I love it. Okay, so we have Spooky. Now, if you're experiencing the same thing with your kneaded eraser, sometimes you get like super marks like that. All you got to do is like clean it up, because I do experience this sometimes. That means that the graphite is like all over and we just have to clean up our eraser. So we don't see any of those graphite marks when we're erasing it, because I do have the same issue and I don't really clean my eraser a whole lot. So you got to go mix it up, just kind of like play with it like a clay, and then you'll lose all that graphite. It's like the remnants of the graphite is still there. You just kind of have to play it around. Okay, Friday, Patty said Friday the 13th. Ooh, and it just keeps going. Is it over? Because that movie seems like it keeps going. Okay, so vibes. I'm gonna make the vibes just slightly bigger because I have a whole lot of space in here. So maybe this one, you have the option. We have the option to probably just make it like into print What do you think? Or we can still keep it. We're just gonna go play around. We'll see what we can do. I think I want to keep it letter script. Just gonna go really make it slightly bigger. Like this. And like this. Like that. Now with this lettering part, I'm not super careful with the sketching because I know I'm going to use a black marker. So if you have anything black, because we really want this to stand out, if you have your Pitt Artists, that would be great. If you have the Goldfaber sketch and you have the black, then that would be great too. And I do have it. So, but if you don't have that one, then whichever marker that you have, use it. But if it isn't a pigment marker, because it might blend with the alcohol ink, sometimes those are the things that we have to think about. Then if it's not, then what you're going to do is you have to color in your pumpkin first, okay? Because we can do the opposite. So we can color this all orange and then do the lettering. Which one do you guys want? It just depends on you. Okay. So I'm going to go make sure to clean up my sketch now so we can color in. If you don't want to add any line art to your pumpkin, which means, the black line going all around your drawing or your illustration, then you really want to clean out the sketch because it is going to show up in the orange. So you want to make sure that to really, really clean up the sketching. Like it's almost not there, like almost invisible. But as long as you have, the guide to know your placement, then that's all you need. And I think I do. So I'm just really going to clean it up the best to my ability. There we go. The Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it's my daughter's favorite. But then I love Coco too. I know it's not really Halloween, but it's about the night of the dead. All right, so we do the same thing in the Philippines. We go on November 1st, All Souls Day, and we go to our family's grave, the one who passed on already, and we hang out over there. We spend some time, we talk stories about them. That is what we do. Right. I think I'm all clean and all that. Okay, so we're going to start with our orange. Love Coco too. Yes, it is. Which one? Arsenic? I don't think I've seen that one. Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't. Christine, I don't know that one. You guys have so many good movies. Night of the Living Dead, the original. Okay, I have a lot of to look up to. Okay, we're gonna draw just the outside line first, just so we have a guide. I know. I think I overstretch it already. Now, see, this is one of the things I love about the alcohol marker is because I don't have to be super careful with my application because like what I said, the alcohol markers, they really do get absorbed in the paper and it looks so nice and vibrant, but at the same time, you don't have all those pesky marks. Now, please don't get me wrong. You know how I love those textures, but it just depends on what I'm working on. So when I know that I don't want any of that texture, I want it smooth, I want the blending to be really nice, then I go reach out for my alcohol markers. Now, I think I did mine super big, so this one's going to take me a little bit to fill in this pumpkin here. So I'm going to work. I made mine super duper big. Now, the thing with alcohol markers also, if you're using the same alcohol markers, they're going to have this little scent to it, of course. So if you're sensitive to that one, make sure that you have, proper ventilation in your office or in your room. or you're working in a bigger space, you just have like mask. So as you can see, with this large space like this, if I am using a regular marker and I'm doing short strokes like this, you're really going to see all of these marks later on. But because it is an alcohol marker, we're not going to see so much of the marks. Man, I think I've made mine so crazy big. Yes, Dia de los Muertos. Thank you, Melissa. We call it All Souls Day. So now that I'm not in the Philippines, what I do to remember our loved ones who passed on is we just light a candle. We talk stories about them, sharing our memories, finding ways to keep them alive in our memories. I think that's such a beautiful tradition. Oh man, you think I'm going to use all my ink because of how big I made my pumpkin? I might too. I think it was just being too careful. I think we're going to use all the 1 hour in here just to color this in. You guys didn't warn me. What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. That was it. I was getting too excited. Maybe because I was so careful with the lettering because I know I want a slightly larger lettering to pop. You know what? With all this effort, I might have to frame this one. Put it in my home so everybody can see. Oh man. Definitely big. And what I'm doing is like sometimes you feel like, oh, there's not enough ink in there. So all you got to do is kind of like twist your markers around like this, kind of like move it around while you're using it. And then kind of like switch to the other side, which is a bit more fresh and juicy. And also so the ink flow will kind of like move around. You'll get a better ink flow that way, like this. This one is just really super large. Um, no, this one, Cecilia, this one is a fine tip. So you get a 0.6. Yes, a chisel tip would have been so helpful right now, right? I made a mess too. Yeah, but the brush pen gets really, it covers a large space. But I think when you get like a chisel tip, you really get that ink flow a whole lot concentrated. But you know what, to be completely honest with you, I don't think I use chisel tips a whole lot. That's why you don't really see me use, what do you call this, highlighters. I don't know. For some reason, I could never get used to the shape of the chisel tip. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure that it's just me because I think I've just gotten so used to using my brush pen in that it's like if I'm not using a brush pen, it just doesn't feel right, doesn't sit right. I know it feels weird, but yeah, chisel tip would have been really nice right now. But I've just gotten so used to using the brush pen and I found really the great, techniques. For example, for this large space, that's what I do is I just kind of like move around the brush pen like this to really get more of that ink flow and that the juicy part of the brush pen. I just kind of like switch around like this. Now, if we're using a watercolor in this one with this large space, it's going to take us a while for this to dry. And then, of course, there's the heat tool, all that we can use. All right, so do you decorate for Halloween? Have you been to Michael's? Have you seen the new decorations? They're so adorable. But since we have guests coming in, I have my family coming in next week. So instead of decorating for Halloween, I'm actually going to skip Halloween and Thanksgiving this year because we're almost kind of like celebrating Christmas early because my family are coming in from all over the world, not all over the world, but you know what I mean. My sister's coming in from the Philippines, and then my niece is coming from Oman, which is from the Middle East. And then my niece and her family are visiting from Singapore. So it's kind of like we're going to have like a really early Christmas. So I am going to Michael's to get some Christmas decorations. So I'm sorry, Halloween. Yeah, my daughter is upset because she loves Halloween. So she's like, it's here. So just like, no, paper bats. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Oh man, you guys, you need to tag me on Instagram, all over social media so I can see your decorations. I love it. I have my Pinterest board full of Halloween ideas, you know, the craft things and what we can do. But then my my family is coming. It's like, nope, okay, skipping Halloween this year. And we're going straight to Christmas. Yes, I know, Rhonda. It's so special. We haven't seen each other, I think, 2 years. So it's really nice, you know. So it's fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a very, very busy last week of October and first 2 weeks of November for me because I'm also going to be attending two planner conferences. Faber-Castell will be hosting a workshop for two of the planner conventions. One is in Orlando and the other one is in Chicago. So it's really definitely going to be quite busy for us. But I'm super excited because the rest of the family are going to Orlando as well because we're going to Disney World. So that's fun. I got to decorate my class for Halloween. Oh, that's so much fun. That is so much fun. And and craft, Halloween craft is the best. I think it's the best. It's like all the googly eyes. Oh man, I remember when we're doing like the best Halloween treat box for school when my daughter was still in school. So that was really fun. I remember that. Okay, so I'm going to use the light yellow glaze first, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of blending. We'll see. Thank goodness this one is not so big anymore because I think my marker there was a little bit tired in the end, but man, it did well. All right, so we're going to do the light glaze first, and then I'm going to do the dull lime. We love the peanuts grade pumpkin. Oh man. Robin, come on, let's go. It's called the Chicago Planner Convention. So it's really gonna be fun. It's full of, you know, journaling enthusiasts, planning enthusiasts. A lot of creative friends are gonna be there. So we are going to be hosting a workshop with our gelatos. All right, so I'll give you a little bit of tip. So funny. A tip, a technique when it comes to blending. I like to call this like a kissy. So I'm using my light yellow glaze, a light color, and I'm picking up some of that green because I want to do a little bit of blending. And I want the line to be clean and smooth blend, almost like that transition from that green to that light yellow is going to be much better. So I'm going to do a little bit more. This is one thing I love about alcohol markers is that blend. I can already see it. It looks so nice. If you have like a darker orange, we can definitely do that for our pumpkin also. Do I have a darker orange? I don't think I do. Heck, it's already 5:35, guys. Oh, this one. I do. So if you do have like darker orange like this, you can make it like where your base is going to be slightly darker. I mean, we can try that. This one is cadmium orange, definitely lighter. This one would be the scarlet red. I love scarlet red. So we can try it. I'm going to try it for you so we can see. I'm just going to pick up some of that. Oh, other way around. Oops. So I'm going to use the dark cadmium, the color that we used, and I'm just going to pick up some of that scarlet red. I'm going to do it over here first, where we can see that the top of our pumpkin. We're just going to bring it in. Hear that squeaky sound? It's the only thing about the alcohol inks. It doesn't matter what from which brand, they do have that sound. Is it from the inks? I don't know. Was it from the brush? I like that. And I think I'm going to add a little bit at the bottom as well. You can apply the darker orange that you have in there directly if you want to, and then you can just slowly blend it in. But I feel like with this one, I have better control of how much of that scarlet red I really want in there. Does that make sense? Because I feel like if I would add the scarlet red directly, I feel like it's going to be so strong and super vibrant, more than what I would like. So I'm just picking up some of that and then just applying it at the bottom in there. Now, I don't want this to be overly detailed or anything like that, but we're just, because I added some blending in there, I might as well just add a little bit of contrast and blending to our pumpkin as well, instead of it just kind of like one big blob orange. We're just adding a bit of dimension and interest in here. There you go. We can actually go a whole round there. But this time, what I want to do is I want to add lines as well, texture to the pumpkin. So I'm still doing the same thing. I'm just using that dark cadmium. And then we're just going to add lines to our pumpkin. Now, this one, I'm not going to do perfect, just kind of like that, almost like dashes. Dashes. Did I say that? Dash. Yes. So just like that, just using the tip of the brush and almost like broken lines. Just like this. Let's start here first. Just like that. Okay. And then one in the middle. Like that. Again, if you want to add darker areas, you can do so. Just adding a bit more. Just like that. Looks pretty. All right, now it's time to do our lettering. Okay. You can really see my letters in there yet. So all we're going to do is, if you have a bullet tip or a 1.5 bullet tip pens, it would be better than using the brush pen, because when using like a mono tip, which means just one size, you have better control. So I'm going to use the 0.6 on this one, and I'm just going to go letter on top of my sketch. So we're not doing anything yet. We're just going to line the sketch that we've created earlier. Here we go. So I think with the spooky, I want to add a little bit of flourish for the letter K. So I'm going to grab my pencil first in here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go from almost on the top of the letter P, in the middle of that. We're just going to do like this. So it was like a hill or a mountain, and go down and go make a loop on top, and then just like that. Oops, you guys couldn't see, can't you? I'm gonna go like that so you guys can see. So it's almost like a little mountain, just slightly. Don't have to make it so high, and go down and then make a loop for our letter K, so we can add a little bit of flourishing in there. I think that's good. Okay, and then I'm gonna go I think I don't need to. Do I have to? Just go over it, just one, with my kneaded eraser. Look how cool the kneaded eraser is. See? I love it. Because the amount of erasing I do, I will be buried with some eraser suds if I'm not using the kneaded eraser. Okay. Spooky. I put a spell on you. Oh, I love that song. All right. Kind of messed that up, but it's okay because we're going to add some width to that one later on. All right, letter V. And then our letter I. And then I'm going to do a bit of a loop to my letter B, but a simple one, not so fancy like our letter K in there. So just the regular loop for a B. Letter E. And then letter S. And the loop. And then the dot. I can color that in. Another thing why I love the alcohol markers is that they dry so quickly. So that I'm not, you know, I don't have a whole lot of smearing happening. Look at that blend. That's so cool, but it looks so fluorescent on the camera. I don't know why. Okay, so now we're going to add some extra width to our letters. Now you want to do this little by little because you don't want to add it where it's so thick right away. So we just want to add a little bit of line beside, parts of the stroke that we've already created. So I'm just adding an extra in there. Or you can just kind of like go over your sketch already and then just slowly add some extra width to it because we really want this lettering to pop. So, and I apologize if I'm going to work a little faster so we can finish this one and we can end up with a very fun illustration in here because we want to add a little bit of doodles here and there. So if you're not very comfortable in adding the width right away on top of the sketch you've created, just do what I did earlier. Just kind of like add some extra stroke to the side and then slowly fill in that area. Right? So I'm just going to fill this in. I'm going to try to work slightly faster. So just kind of like get super close to the original line art and then just add some extra width. Now you can make it as thick or as thin as you would like. If you wanted to stop in there with just kind of like what the mono line, this very clean, beautiful script, you can stop there. But me, I want to add just an extra thickness to this one. And don't forget like the inside of the O, like this one, or the loop inside your letter P. Like what I said, start with very thin because it's easy to kind of like go over and beyond, but just kind of like the more you keep adding, the wider or the thicker it's getting, and you're like you can't stop it anymore. You're like, why is it getting thicker and thicker? So kind of like start really thin and then just slowly add because this letter O right here is already so thick. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna move away from that and it's gonna do my letter K because that one keeps getting thick. Okay, I'm just gonna add some extra width in there. So every time that happens to me, I'm like, there is nobody else to blame but myself because I'm like, sometimes I'm not super careful. You know how it is when you're kind of like working on something and you're not being mindful. You're just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna add here, I'm gonna add there, and the extra little extra things you add is like, I didn't even realize it's going to be that much. I was just adding little things. It's like this. Yeah, exactly, Patty. That's good. I'm sorry, guys. I think it's just because, why is it going in and out? I don't know, too, so much also. Maybe it's when my hands are kind of like off the camera. It's kind of like tracking, trying to find it. But it is a spooky vibes. Patty is right. Ooh, it's Halloween. Right, there we go. All right, so I am just slowly, carefully trying to add some extra width to that. But look how vibrant this black is. It's like so rich. Now, I like what I said, I want to make like the end of my strokes boxy. So I'm just trying to see this one, trying to make that. And I'm going to do this for my letter Y also. Just really trying to get a clean, boxy end of for my letters. It's like this. And so this one's very squarish also. And I'll do this for my letter P. So you really just want to box it like that. And then I'll do for my letter S also. I'm just not super thrilled with this letter S shape. I don't know what it is about it that is slightly, that I am not slightly happy about. It's like that. Yeah, we should do that. We should do that. Because this is going to take a while before we can do this. Okay, so since we have all the spooky vibes in here, just pretend that we have that thickened, and I'll do that off camera later on. What we're going to do, this is where I always make it wrong. So can somebody tell me, is it white, orange, and yellow, or is it white, yellow, and orange for the candy corn? Because I cannot. Is it white, yellow, and orange? White, orange, and yellow. Anybody? We're gonna
It
do
is
some candy corns in here.
it is white, yellow, and orange.
White, yellow, and orange. Okay, so that's what I'm always getting wrong. Okay, so this one. So we need a yellow because this still kind of looks green to me. So let's grab yellow if you have any yellow in there. That'll be great. White, yellow, and orange. We can actually use a light blue. You guys already know this. If you attend a lot of my classes, I love using light blue or a light gray just to kind of show you that that part is white. A light gray is good, or a light blue like this one is a good alternative as well. But we're going to do the neutral gray. This one is 331. So white, orange, and yellow. Thanks,
Yes, I
Tina.
was just
Okay.
going to say that
Yeah.
some of them are, but most of them are white, orange, and yellow. That was my
White,
bad.
orange, yellow. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we want to fill in. I'm going to start with the gray. If you have a light gray, a light blue, or if you have a light yellow, you can use that as well. But I'm going to draw the shape of the candy corn first. This is how we're going to start. It's kind of like this, like that. And then I'm going to go in with my yellow next. Orange first. Orange. Good catch, yeah. So white, orange, and yellow. Okay. I always get this wrong, always. So if you look in my social media and you're like, Lay got it wrong again. So I had orange and yellow. Then we're gonna go in for our orange next. Okay, so we're just adding a little bit of kind of like slightly slanted, slightly curving, not really, but we're just following that shape. We'll just fill in inside. Oh, look at this. Now, you guys know how much I love kawaii things, so you already know this, that I'm going to add like kawaii faces to my doodles later on. And we're going to go in with our yellow. So this is where that 0.6 is really helpful, like small doodles like this, because You can just come in here. If I'm using a brush pen, I will have to kind of like really be careful. And we want to curve the corners of that candy corn. You don't want anything sharp where it looks like a triangle. So you want to round all that. Two corners, the bottom, and then fill in the rest. You can use the brush to just kind of like quickly fill it in. This one. So cute already. And then we're going to let it dry first. And I think I want to add a little bit more here at the bottom. So I'm going to do the same. Now you can play around with the size. It just depends on how much more space you have in there. And also, since this one is leaning left, I'm going to make this one where it's almost like leaning to the right. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing. It's okay if I did that with the gray because I'm going to go over it with my orange anyways, and that's going to get covered. And then we'll draw a bat and some candies in here. We can go over our time just slightly, just so we can do some doodles in here. I promise not going to be a while. And then we'll draw some yellow. All right, hopefully I can remember this one. White, orange, and yellow. And then, of course, make sure that you are following me on social media. It's at Mommy Lay. I do a lot of inspirational videos, and of course, Faber-Castell USA as well, for more inspiration and, of course, information about our products. Okay, so while that's drying, I want to add some candy, other candies in here. I think I'm going to do a pink and a purple. So I want to play around with a shape. You can do like a circle, or you can do kind of like rectangular, but make sure that when you're trying to do anything cute, you want to avoid anything, any sharp lines. Okay, so we don't want any sharp lines. That's why I'm curving the sides like this, and I'm going to go zoom in just a little bit like that. Yes, right? So it's just a different look too. All right, the way I'm going to add it, it's kind of like this. That's the shape. 1, 2, and then another one. And I'm going to add another one here, but I don't have to color it in. I'll just show you. I'll do this one off camera. We'll do one on camera. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right. Now for the bat, I love adding spiders because it's so easy. 8 legs, don't worry, don't forget. I love making, doodles of spiders. You make this so easy. Kind of like the shape of the pumpkin is what I like. So kind of like this. So slightly narrow or smaller on the top. You just fill it in. Spiders are the best. And then I love adding like cobwebs too, because it's so Halloween, like this. And then you add the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. When you're doodling, try not to overthink things, because I think that's what we do as adults. It's like we like to overthink the spider. Come on, just think of the basic shape and then just add those little tiny legs, and then you have a spider. You can make it round if you would like. You can make it, slightly curved or rounded. It's up to you. Play around with it. Now, with this spider that I'm drawing right now, it doesn't have a face. It's okay. Can't really see, but we're just going to add those lines. Those are so cool. Now, for the bat, I really like my bat to look like it's almost the same, but a bit more squarish on the top. So I'm going to draw just a little bit here so you can see. So it's still kind of like the candy corn, but not as big and not as round on the top. So just like that, still heavier at the bottom. And then we're going to round this part right here. Curve it like this. Now, when we do my wings, I'm going to go start with this one first. So one, I'm going to try to make it as equal or balanced as it never happens. And then curve line. So one, another one, two, and then three, right? So it just depends on how many curves. One, or how large your bat is, and three. So I think for my bat, I don't want to color it like super black because I want to add a little kawaii face in there. So I'm going to grab my gray. So try to get your gray color so you can add a little bit of ice, right? So we're just going to color this in. I'm going to go fast so you can finish and you can see the bat. And then you can just add more bat in here later on. And then we can do the candy. So you can make this as, big as you would like, or as small if you want to make like boo boxes. That'll be cute. If you want to make like small cards this Halloween, then you can do a lettering. You can do a little bit of pattern on the inside. You can add your candy corn in there. And just remember, if you're going to use the alcohol markers and you're going to draw like the um, for a card, make sure that you cover up the back side of your card, because remember, there's going to be a bleed through. So I like that. Now you can add a little bit of like tiny feet like this sticking, like small curve, but this is the kawaii style. Everything just looks so tiny. Right, while that is drying, I'm just going to add a bit of ice in there. And then I'm going to draw like a stretched smile. Hey, yeah. Then I'm going to draw a stretched smile like this one. And I'm going to add a teeth. Let's not forget his ears. The bat is like, where is my bat ears? So we're gonna forget that. So just a little bit. Just like that. Yee. And then you can add like a little pink in there if you want for the blush. I always like to do that. Now for the candy, you can make it where this one will be like all pink, or you can make it like polka dots. Think about patterns. You can make it like all light pink like this one. Since I have a light pink, I'm just going to go over it with my light pink first. And then you can think patterns instead of just kind of like solid colors. Think patterns, add some stripes in there, or maybe create a gradient color where, from the light pink to the pink, and then add some purple. Those are the things that you want to think about when you're coloring an illustration, is that you're not limited to just a block of color in here. So even in your coloring books, you want to think about patterns. How can I add, a bit more visual interest in this one, because it's like just plain pink like this, like a blob of pink color. Think texture, so add stripes to it, polka dots. You guys know how much I love adding those little tiny embellishments like that. So while it's still wet, you can blend in another color or wait till it's dry, and then you can add your texture, right? So you can add in, a little bit of polka dots in here, something like that. Hey, Barbara, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you had fun. And then we can add like a little bit of lines, do a little bit of line work. So you add a little bit more details in there. And then me being me, I'm going to add another kawaii face in here. So I like this little triangle. Is it right triangle, left angle? I'm like, I miss my geometry class. I was absent this day. And then just add a little cute face. And then over here too, I'm going to add another face, just like this. And just like that. And then you have details. Now, if you want to add faces to your spider, it's going to be a bit difficult. But if you have like a white marker, like a gel marker, then you could definitely use that. I'm going to fill in the space. And then if you're following me on Instagram, I will post it in my stories later, what I will add in here. So you can take a screenshot later on and then, maybe get more ideas how to finish yours. But this is what we did. I'm going to go thicken that area out. I'm going to add more width to the lettering, and I'm going to fill in more space. I'm going to add stars, maybe more candies, more candy corn, more spiders, and a bit of cobweb in here somewhere. But yes, this is our class today. I hope it was spooky fun. Thank you so much, Belle. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. It's always better when you guys are here with us because it's going to be really boring without all of you. But thank you, Mary. Yes, we thank Michaels for doing this every week, of learning and just having fun. Thank you so much, Faber-Castell. Thanks, Tina. Enjoy the fall season, everybody. Enjoy this Halloween fall season. I think fall is my favorite, so I'm really looking forward to the cooler weather. But thank you so much again for allowing me to inspire you today. Again, my name is Leibella Rolston. It's always a pleasure. Until next week, I'll see you guys again for another hour of class. But for now, stay creative and stay happy. Bye, everyone.